Today, we're going to have a look at Session Manager. You can log into Session Manager using your Active Directory, Entra credentials, admin passwords, no passwords, or as I'm going to do today, demo mode. It's an automated solution to work in conjunction with Smots Control Center that allows students or participants in activities to create their own video recordings associated with those activities. So you don't need a technician to go and export video manually. The student will log in, undertake the activity, log out, and that video will then be produced and made available either to admin or perhaps to the student as well, or an examiner. So it's a very quick and easy way of automating the whole video capture process. So you've got a self-check-in screen, and that might be a tablet or a Windows device in the room. And so we're going to select room 3 today, and I'll put the input code, the check code, which is just in the room to say, yes, I'm in room 3, and that's the code on the wall. I can add in extra participants. So I'm logged in as demo today, but I'm going to be working with Wilma, so I'm adding her as an extra participant. And I'm putting in a check code, just a reference that we can access later when we're looking for this clip. Start the session, and we just get on with what we're doing. We're not looking at video, we're just undertaking the task. We can add comments to the timeline very easily, and those will be associated with the video clip later. And also faculty, they can use the session tags button to add their own comments to the timeline, and they'll be viewable either by the student or by the examiner. So when the student has finished, of course they can pause if they need to, but when they've finished, they just press stop, and that will then make the room available for the next participants. As faculty or admin, if I go to the library, I can see the video from that room is now being exported, and the percentage counter there was indicating that it's actually stitching multiple video clips together into one, so they can then be played with a multiple camera view as one clip within Chrome or any other browser. So my options here are to edit the clip, and I can add in other participants and owners to that, to download the clip, to play it, or to delete the footage. Now, if I'm playing the clip, I can see it in this format here, but also as the student, if the student is allowed, they will also see the clip in their personal library. But there they can only download it, again, if they have permission, or play. And permissions may or may not allow them to see the clip. If it's an examination, for example, they obviously won't. You can click on moments on the timeline, and you can see exactly when those comments were made. You can zoom in on particular camera views, and you can play with audio from all 4 synchronized simultaneously. You can also go full screen on that too. So the personal library, the self-check-in, the session tags, it's all a means of automating the whole video capture process and making it very simple. Even better, if you go to the clock face session manager, you might just want to do the login for the students. So you can put John in room 1, Fred in room 2, and let's put Wilma in room 3. And Wilma will start her session in at 1725 and will end it at 1726. So you can either start things straight away or schedule them to start when you're ready, or when the student will be ready, more to the point. So these will, in fact, John and Fred have already started, and you will see that they will start their export and will appear in the library here in a moment. Wilma is shown as being active now, but because that was booked in the future, we'll actively need to export the session. And that will just take a few moments and will come through once that actual session has completed, but it's not completed yet. We go to Scheduler. Scheduler is a way of bringing all these capabilities together. And so in the year, you'll have your medical students, your nursing students, your physio students, various groups of students. So you can create those groups with participants. And that can be from a CSV file. You can pull that from Active Directory. So that would be a list of all your students who you're working with this year. You can create activities and stations, and we've put some examples in here, blood pressure, bloods, and so on. I've allocated time to each of those tasks. Wouldn't normally be as quick as a minute, but for demonstration purposes, that works. And then the locations in which they are happening. And then courses will come on to. Those are to allow you to repeat a series of events on a regular basis. So you can have maybe different participants, different stations, but the actual style of event is occurring repetitively. So we can do that as a future action, which is coming to the software shortly. Events, we can create an event, and we're going to call this test event, and we're going to start it today, and we are going to add stations to this event. So we're going to do blood pressure and bloods and COPD. We've got 3 stations for this particular event, and we will select the participants for this, and they are going to be the medical students, the nursing students, and the physio students. So they were added as individuals. We could add them as a group, which would mean that all 3 were participating at the same time rather than being scheduled at individual different times. We can also manually add individuals too. I'm going to auto schedule this to start shortly, and I'll make it start at 17:29. And we'll put a 1-minute gap between stations just for demonstration. We can put in avoiding times here as well. So for example, coffee and lunch breaks and so on. If I press auto schedule now, you'll see it's created the schedule so that everybody gets round each station. And I can add a manual round at this stage if I want. I'm just going to validate and save. That's now ready to go. And when I go back to the event list, you'll see I've got a manage key here. And that will show me, if I select automatically start, that will show me the rounds starting and commencing through all the different stations and participants. In the room or at each station, we can select, have a tablet or a web browser to be able to view what's happening. So if I go into the room view and I type in the login there for that room, so this is the one for bloods. So we're going to be in the bloods room, login. So now we will see that we have the first session started. I can load that screen, which actually gives me more detail of the participant and the time remaining, and also an opportunity to pause if I need to for any reason. But the overview here will let me see everything that's happening in room 3 over the next few minutes. And I can load those. Obviously, this one hasn't started yet, but I can load those as I wish to get into the detail and control. And when I go back to Session Manager, we can see them all lining up here. There's a couple started there. And if I go into Library, we'll see these starting to appear in the library. So as they're completed, they will show up in the library and we'll have the capability to download or view the clips. So we have the first room 2A med students, and they are here. And I play that clip back here. So those clips will all automatically be sent out. And if I am a member of that group, I will see the clip appearing here. But I'm not seeing the P1, P2 students because I'm not a member of that group in this case. So Scheduler really is just a way of automating the whole process. And as I say, coming shortly, we'll also be able to repeat this, edit the contents for different stations, different students, and run that as a repetitive course. So that's Session Manager and Session Manager Scheduler. Thank you.